nigga like me, man, I love the game.
Robinhood, Vlad Tenev. I bought a lot of call options on the stock when it was $8. It was one of the biggest wins I've had in the market from an options perspective. $60. Is Robinhood the future of finance? How do you think of this company?
I do think it's the future of finance. I compete with them. I talked to Vlad about doing something with my product. You know, the guy's just a genius. You know, he figured out that there's huge untapped potential in brokerage. You know, I can't say I love every single thing he does. You know, I think he has gamified the market a little bit. But, you know, I think he's going to build the next big financial institution. You know, I would not be surprised if he built a $200-300 billion company that was bigger than Goldman Sachs.
Wow.
You know, if you look into Vlad's history, this isn't a guy to bet against. And when you see a guy like this, who's him's kind of reminds me a little bit of this too. When you see really talented managers, it took me 25 years of investing and beating my head against the wall sometimes to learn some of these lessons. So I hope some of you guys will avoid those 25 years of pain that I had. You know, when you see a great manager managing a business and it's just growing and growing, I think you just buy and forget about it. And you just let them compound, especially if they have a big open vision. And the big open vision here is finance could be more digital. Finance could be more inclusive. Finance could look different. And I'm going to make the next Goldman Sachs or the next JP Morgan. And he's doing it. And you just watch and enjoy, you know, like, you know, is he going to be a perfect straight line up? Probably not. But, you know, you have to be amazed at this guy. Like, and again, I consider him a rival, you know, so I feel like, you know, I'm just amazed at his abilities. And look at his math career. If you actually want to be really impressed that the guy isn't just some dope that figured it out. Every guy, I mean, thousands of people have tried to make online brokerages and failed.
Yeah.
You know, this guy did something right. Like same thing with HIMS. Anybody can make like a little telehealth app tomorrow, a little prescription app tomorrow. Like you could spin one up tonight. It's a big difference to make it a $10 billion company. And in Robinhood's case, he's at 60 billion now. I mean, you have to give credit where credit's due. And you know, clearly he's onto something. Now, does that mean the ride lasts forever? You know, if you look at Palantir, you look at Robinhood and you say, these guys are so good. Tesla even, you know, how much can these guys compound and when will it stop? And look, the reality is it does stop at some point. CEOs get rich. They decide, you know, maybe I'm bored. Maybe I'm going to have 65 kids. Maybe I'm kidding, but maybe, you know, maybe I'm not going to be so interested in this. And one sign, if you want to be vicious, and I think sometimes you have to be in this business, Vlad started a second company recently. And I had investors a long time ago who said, Martin, if you ever do something like that, we're taking all our money out. If you ever even get a girlfriend or get married, we have a problem because you're supposed to be managing our money.
Do you think there could be a symbiotic relationship because it's an AI company? Robinhood's doing AI. Maybe that's
looks like a distraction to me. I mean, he's a mathematician. He loves math. So do I. But, you know, if I was seriously ruthless, I'd just be like, what is that shit? You know, so that's it. You know, he'll probably be fine. But when you look at these telltale signs, like, what are you doing? You know, and you just have to watch it carefully because even the best CEOs, they fall off the horse. And, you know, I guess what I'm saying is when you trust and believe so much in the Karps and the Musks and the Tenevs, you do have to sit there and sort of say, well, trust but verify. You know, I bet on you and I believe in you, but you know, watch the quarters, watch the things they do, and if you ever get uncomfortable, just hit the sell button. You know, it's not that hard. You know, I think the biggest mistake I see individual investors make is they get married. They just can't ever hit the sell button. We have a guy in our chat, he's named Alejandro. We call him Bagajandro because he's a bag holder. He's up so much on IonQ. He just can't hit sell for some reason. And it's like, look, man, you doubled your money. You're right. You licked me. I lost 2 or 3 million on this. Just hit the sell button. You know, but you know, for whatever reason, every time it goes up, he invents a new reason to be long. Yeah. And, you know, it's a symptom that a lot of people have. And there's nothing offending about selling. There's nothing the company doesn't give a shit about you. You know, you don't get points in the stock market for being loyal. You know, do you get loyalty points? People say they're proud. They say, I've owned Palantir since this price. I've owned Palantir since this year. You don't get extra stock for that.
No, you don't.
Alex Karp doesn't send you a Christmas card for that. No. Your job is to protect your portfolio. And if you start to see Karp's acting weird and the numbers aren't as good as I thought they'd be, okay, just sell. You know, it's not going to kill you. Find the next Palantir. You know, a lot of people spend all of their energy on the portfolio they have now.
Yeah.
You should be spending a lot of energy on the portfolio of stocks that you don't know about that could be the next Palantir. You know, go worry about, you know, just constantly scrutinizing these stocks. You made your bed. You already have Palantir. Why study it? Yeah. You know, it doesn't make any sense. You know, keep on tabs on it, but you got to go find the next one and the next one and the next one, because eventually Palantir will fall off the horse. Tesla might fall off the horse.
And investing is ruthless. You've got to be able to compound and find the next one. I want to ask you about HIMS, but real quick, SoFi, this online bank tech platform.
Don't know it that well. My friend Mike Cagney once, I was meeting him in San Francisco, and I said he was working for Paul Getty, one of the wealthy dynastic families in America. And I said, what are you interested in? He said, online banks. And he started SoFi, and he got kicked out for sexual harassment reasons. I know they went public. They kind of did a SPAC, and you know, they seem to have gotten things together. But
you don't think of them as competitors to Robinhood or anything like that.
You don't know it. I always call a spade a spade. If I don't know a stock inside and out, I just tell you.
Got it. Okay, HIMS. You went on the HIMS House podcast. I've been on that podcast. There's a big cult following on this one. Are you long HIMS?
I'm not long. I was long when I was on the podcast. Then it fucking like doubled or something like that. And I sold it. I even shorted it briefly. And I shorted HIMS and bought Palantir as a pair trade. Because HIMS had this like so-so quarter and Palantir had this killer quarter.
Yeah.
And HIMS went up 20% on the quarter and Palantir's flat on the quarter. And I was like, hold on, this is going to reverse. And it reversed. You know, so I do trade sometimes. I put the trader hat on. But when I put the investor hat on, I mean, this is obviously a management team that knows what the hell they're doing. I mean, this TAM is also kind of infinite. I mean, healthcare is full of broken shit to fix. And one of the first broken things to fix was, why can't I just get a prescription for the drug I want? And the answer is, well, doctors have to decide first. And it's like, well, what the fuck does this doctor know anyway? And the reality is, yes, look, I wouldn't want you to do surgery on me, brain surgery on me, Amit. But I do think that, you know, I can fill my own prescription for birth control if you're a woman and you want birth control. What's the big deal? Everybody knows, everybody takes these drugs. Like, it's really not that serious. Cholesterol medicine. I mean, you don't need a doc for every single damn thing. And I think when you go to the doctor, it tends to create, oh, well, you have to do a blood draw. Oh, well, you know, blood draw had this. Well, we're going to have to biopsy that. And it's this constant back and forth of you overutilizing healthcare, when the reality is like, give me this drug, and this drug. And that's the way it should be. And I feel like, you know, they have a check and balance there in a teledoctor, checking and making sure. But the reality is we spend way too much on healthcare. It's bankrupting our country. And HIMS is, odd as it sounds, it's sort of an attempt to sort of fix some of that, as well as providing people satisfactory service. I hate going to the doctor to renew my script.